There we go. Sorry about that, guys. That's embarrassing. Welcome to Chill and Chat with Michael B. I decided to go with no countdown clock tonight, and then I did that. Way to mess up, Mike. This town needs an enema. Batman 89, my favorite Batman movie of all time. Sorry, guys, about the audio. Oh, man, I'm so embarrassed. This is a real professional operation I got going on here. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. We had a very interesting weekend with, surprisingly, 2 different racing cabinets announced from 2 different companies in the same weekend. One company is really under a lot of fire. I'm going to tell you up front, I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to tear that company apart. We're just going to have an open and honest conversation about it, and I think everybody will have fun. And the other company unleashed a racing cabinet. I knew there was a racing cabinet coming, but this certainly isn't the one I was expecting. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. Oh, Zero Hero, I love you. I love all the Batman 89 comments here in the chat. You're my number one guy. Oh, what a movie. My favorite saying, which I always throw out there, is you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Zohar, what's happening, brother? You'll behave. Don't behave, man. Want you to feel comfortable as possible. And yes, we may even get into a conversation about how amazing that AEW pay-per-view was. Let's talk racing cabs. Guys, I know people hate it sometimes, but I'm going to throw it to the intro. So Chill and Chat with Michael B. I see Tom Atkins in the chat. That is one of my favorite YouTube. Oh, what's the name of it? YouTube names of all time is Tom Atkins. I'm a huge Tom Atkins fan, huge horror movie fan, so that makes me very happy. Bobby Brown, yes, I did see Ralph's video. I commented on Ralph's video. Mike Hawkhurst says, the highlight of the weekend for me is the 4-player deck and how nice it looks. I hope it fits well on my pedestal. Yeah, I'm sure if it doesn't fit on your current pedestal, which I think it will, Buy Stuff Store is probably going to make a new pedestal. And what I was worried about was how it was actually going to fit on the Legends Ultimate, and it looks pretty good. I'm not in love with the art, but I get it that some people are. And actually, after seeing it on the device, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And 100% AEW, bay, amazing. What an amazing weekend. Like, I just fell in love with it the whole time. Like, it's just so nice to have such a positive, refreshing experience and see so many people online talking about loving pro wrestling again. That's awesome. Anyways, we're here to talk about racing cabs tonight, and I saw my buddy WKRP in Cincinnati back here. See if I can go back and find his comment. Is this where I get information on where to purchase the AtGames Racing Guide? Yes. So, it's not up yet, but we're going to have an honest conversation about that because I saw some people mention in the chat, I think CS Briette, who's here in the comments. I don't know if he still is now, but he mentioned on Ralph's video under my comment, like, Super Game Room dudes need to do their research. And I'm like, I think you guys all think that we have more information than we do. And Don Chafee, my buddy Don here, says Arcade1Up's leaks aren't legit and they may have been coordinating with certain YouTubers. If they have, I will be honest with you, I made a video and I have no idea. It's not something they shared with me. I found out about it because Steven Nostalgia actually wrote us in our group chat and said, guys, check this out. And I was like, well, I'm going to make a video on that because I just bought a stand-up racer. Akuma Rev, thank you so much for the shirt. Yeah, that's a Old Navy Street Fighter 2 special. I love Street Fighter 2 merch. I love Street Fighter 2. And thank you so much for the super chat. Ralph doesn't hate AtGames. He doesn't. It's just, he's got a weird relationship with him, right? So, anyways, Street Fighter 2, before we get started, has anybody else got wicked FOMO for this cabinet? I put a post up on put a post up on YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook and Twitter right before I went live tonight. I talked about it, and I was like, man, I'm FOMOing real bad. And, it is what it is. Thought Ralph's video was cool, nicely done. I mean, Ralph said the same thing I was thinking after all this happened. Like, when it came out that it was an product that you could also purchase on Alibaba, the first thing I thought of was, oh my god, it's a Soldier Boy console. And I was like, oh my god. That's like, if you go back, that whole Soldier Boy situation, like, it's embarrassing. But, I mean, I know for a fact that's not what it is, but they certainly put that image out there. And let's talk about that. Let's go right there. So the first thing this weekend, it was the second announcement, but the big one I want to talk about was the AtGames racing cabinet. Now, I had a feeling this was coming. This is something I was hoping was coming. And then they announced it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm really excited about the possibility. I'm reading the aspects here, everything there, and I'm like, wow, this is something that's really cool. I know not everybody loved it. Kamala makes a really good point. What AtGames showed isn't the real prototype from the spec sheet. It says a 32-inch screen, just have to wait for the next prototype. 100%. Yes, we're going to get into that. Crumb says Big Blue is great. I know, Crumb. I know. Ralph doesn't hate AtGames, and RGT doesn't hate Blind Squirrel. Man, I don't think RGT hates anybody. Not buying Big Blue because of the repeated games, but I bought Simpsons. Yeah, I know. Oh, Zohar, you don't have to do that. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. I know. Me and you have talked a lot the last couple days. We're cool, brother. You don't have to do that. Another thing I want to mention, I appreciate Blind Squirrel is my favorite. What's happening, Sean, brother? What'd you think of the AEW pay-per-view this weekend? I know you thought it was fire, just like I did. Before we get started, before anybody else gives me any super chats, listen, guys, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love it when you guys do it. It makes me so happy, but you don't ever have to do it. Don't think you do. But if you were thinking about giving me a super chat tonight, please reconsider. And as everybody know, Glenn's Retro Show has been going through a really hard time recently. And I would rather that instead of giving me a super chat, guys, please donate to Glenn's charity for his dog. I don't know if I have it posted here, and I'm really sorry if I don't. It's been a long day, but it was amazing, wasn't it, Sean? So please go check out Glenn Planamento. I will try to update the video when I get a chance here. Put the link to the GoFundMe up there, but please, if you're going to super chat, which I appreciate, I would rather see that money go towards the charity for Glenn and help him out, help the expenses out for Blue. So thank you so much. And then on top of that, Glenn also lost his whole retro gaming collection and his arcade. He had really bad weeks. So thank you so much. If you guys would consider doing that instead, that would mean a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, I think Mount Rushmore is going to be happening in AEW, boys. I think it. So going back to the AtGames racing cab, when I saw it, again, I thought there were some really weird things about it, but I'm reading that spec sheet and I see so many possibilities. I've said it. I would love to see a multi-racer. I think that's something that AtGames could do really well. AtGames does a good job of making sure that you can experience the whole ecosystem on all their devices. So I saw the possibility of, for the people that just wanted to upgrade their Legends Ultimate, driving peripheral, deck, and maybe foot pedal that you could put on it. But for those people that wanted the real experience, a really good multi-racer. And I was really hoping for that. And then we showed the video last night, and the opening's fine, talking about what it's going to do. The information in the spreadsheet's fine. And even showing the cabinet I thought was fine. But at that time, I didn't realize that this is also a product that you could also find for sale on this website, Alibaba. Now, of course, this is not an Alibaba product. The way Alibaba works is all these companies can just go out. They find... Oh, Sling Spade, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. And yes, guys, thank you, Sling Spade. Thank you very much. Glenn's dog got sick and had to go in for emergency surgery, and it was super, super expensive, like $12,000. I never got an update on what it cost. Glenn didn't provide it, but that was what the estimation would be. And then also with the hurricane, what happened was Glenn, who lives on a mountain and never should have been affected, his entire house got flooded. So it's crazy. Like, basically his whole basement got flooded. It sucks. Yeah. I saw that he posted on Twitter, but I get back on this. So the AtGames Racing Cabinet, I didn't realize it was a product on Alibaba, but if you look at it, even on the sale thing, they're like, please contact the supplier if you're interested in this product. So there's an opportunity for them, the actual company that makes it, to work with you and make cabs for you. It's not just, the kids racing cabinet that they have there with the pirate games on it. So what I'm assuming happened, AtGames reached out to this company and they're coordinating, working together on a project, because it's easier for them to go out to a third party that's going to build the frame and maybe the concept, and then AtGames adds their expertise to it and adds their hardware, their chipset, and also add better control and components and try to get it over here to the States. So, I really think that's what was going to happen. But then they got their prototypes, so they got the product that they got from the home company. It has the same design as the cab we see on the one from Alibaba. They put their gear in it, which I've seen. They actually do have images of the AtGames ecosystem working inside the cabinet. So, we see that happening. But then I think in their excitement and them trying to give something exciting for the community, maybe before it was fully cooked, they decided to release that video. Well, there's not really an AtGames drama, but we're going to talk about it, and I want your guys' opinions too. But I think in their excitement, they wanted to show you guys what they were working on to get you hyped up, and they were excited about it. So they showed you, and it immediately turned into kind of a bad situation where it put a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because everybody looks at this product, and you look at the spec sheet, like Kamla mentioned earlier, this is not the same product. And it's not going to be the same product. But immediately you think it's this, cheap children's cabinet off Alibaba. And it's fine. I mean, like a lot of people mentioned in the comment, Ralph called them out for it. When I put the thumbnail up for this video, Ralph was kind enough to fix the image for me. So he redid the image and covered up the AtGames logo with the Alibaba logo. And I'm chuckling over it. I mean, that's all you can do. I don't think AtGames is trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, pull a fast one here. This is just common. I'm going to tell you now, I don't think Arcade1Up has an Arcade1Up factory somewhere where they make their own cabinets. I think they outsource to a third-party company to build their cabinets. And this is a very similar situation. But instead of them having the design up front, they're reaching out to somebody that already has an existing design. So, yeah, here we go. That's what I think happened, but I'll open it up to you. I want to get your feedback. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is closer to the final presentation, or is this going to change? I was hoping to have time today, and I didn't have time, but I was going to do my own mock-up, because what I think it's going to look like, it's going to have a front kind of like the Legends Ultimate, but a little lower. So you get the same swan neck, you get your marquee that everybody has different feelings about, and then you will have the back that I think is going to be very similar, and then the racing seat that it's going to be very similar too. So your average gamer, very misleading. Your average gamer, you're in like the AtGames influencer camp that I'm in too. I mean, we didn't see anything about this before the announcement on the Super Game Room, dude. So it was a surprise to you, a surprise to us on the show. We didn't see the video either. I think we got it like right before we went live. Maybe. Their prototypes, Zero Hero says, let me get the comment up. Zero Hero says, they're prototypes just like the Killer Instinct prototypes, and then today we find out Killer Instinct's going to be totally different looking. That's a good thing. A lot of people are excited about that Killer Instinct cab, and it looks like they've heard a lot of the constructive criticism, which it is the constructive criticism, and made some changes to the cabinet, and I think that's really good. It will change, but they needed to be up front. Yeah, so it is what it is. I'd like to see the footprint of the racer compared to the ALP. I will still buy Daytona when Arcade1Up does it. This AtGame products will look good right next to it. cab looks small. Of course it looks small. Like in Ralph's video when he mentions it, I mean, it's built for kids, right? Gonna have to be Ridge Racer for me, Lewis says. The AtGames Racer looks like a toy when someone's in it. That's what it looked like. And the point that they were trying to do, they found a guy that was over 6 foot. But, I mean, the initial concept is a children's racer. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with it. Again, maybe this was way too early to show this. They were excited. They wanted to get you guys excited and give you guys a huge announcement for National Owners Day. But what baffles me about this is even if it's a prototype and even if you still have it the way it is, why wouldn't you take just some time to cover it up? Cover up like just like the artwork on the back and the other stuff and just try to make it look a little bit better. RGT85. I won't waste your time. Any rumors of any other games on the Ridge Racer cab? I don't know of any, but I'm thinking that from what I understand, Ridge Racer is really super hard to emulate. I could be totally wrong about that, but what I'm told, Ridge Racer doesn't work so good with MAME. Now, Arcade1Up have done some miracles. They're going to do a miracle with Simpsons Bowling. Obviously, Killer Instinct's going to be a miracle. But what I'm thinking is they might not go forward and have later Ridge Racer games, but might go in the past. And everybody knows that Ridge Racer is a Bandai Namco license. Well, what else is a Bandai Namco license that I thought would possibly be an Arcade1Up in the future? So maybe there's a chance that Ridge Racer is going to be the marquee title, but the other games on them might be Pole Position and Pole Position 2, which are very, very... they're older racers, but super desired. I don't know. I've just got a feeling on that. I could be totally wrong, and maybe it is going to be Ridge Racer games in the future. I don't know. Not excited yet. Maybe later when they show more. I agree. I think with this one, we've got to be... I'm carefully optimistic. And yeah, RGT 85, pole position, brother. I want to talk more about Big Blue, too. I'm waiting for Killer Instinct. Everybody's waiting for Killer Instinct. If it can do the 3-screen, that will be a game changer, and that I am excited about. I'm excited about the fact that they're going to have first-party racing games, which is dope. I mean, you can't not. But it is going to have that open source. And then everybody always takes, like, open source, like, oh, you guys are sticking ROMs on there. Like, I don't have any ROMs on my AtGames Legends Pinball. I have it hooked to my computer, and I play my Steam games on it. So you use it as a front end. It basically then, you can play your own games on it, and then it becomes a front end, basically. It's a screen and a controller and a workaround to play things in a certain way. And I'm assuming the racing cab's going to be the same thing. So all those amazing racing games that you can play, WKRP in Cincinnati, we're going to come back to that. I didn't want to get into this so early, but I think there's a reason why it's not pole position. We'll get into it now. I'll give you a heads up. So while Pole Position is a Bandai Namco license, it was released in the arcades by Atari, who I believe may actually own the artwork or the rights to the artwork. I could be wrong, but that's just an assumption I have. Daytona comes next year. If the chipset is there, absolutely, it's possible. I think a lot of people... I was worried because I knew another racer was coming this year from Arcade1Up, and I didn't want to jump out and get Outrun because I bought Stand Up Outrun. And I was like, I'm going to buy this, and then they're going to announce Daytona, and I'm going to kick myself. So Ridge Racer, I'm excited for the people that are excited. That's not my jam, so I'm very happy with my Outrun yet. The only thing is that live feature, which gives me wicked FOMO, and especially if it's going to have Pole Position on it. Daytona will be the big racing cab. Mike Hockhurt says, I hope Jung introduces a racing option for II Arcade soon. That processor is best suited for the racing games. I want to play and history with Sega. Yeah, I've thought about this a lot. It's tough. It's tough for II Arcade because the way their cabinet's designed, you can't do like swappable decks. You can't do... everything's got to be set up through Bluetooth. So even if you do some kind of add-on, it's not like it can be an add-on like you would have with an AtGames product where you get a swappable deck. It's going to be like an extension, and it might be a little bit awkward. So it's almost like you'd want them to do their own racing cab. I don't know. I think Jung is just focused on getting a very good game lineup to supplement the cab he has right now, and I don't think his focus is on hardware just yet. I really think it's time for a multi-cade racing cab, 100%. And for anybody that watched Ralph's video earlier, I mean, Ralph bought that, Prime Racing cab, and I was really super interested in it too. But, I mean, he said it, there's not really a good option out there for an easy peasy multi-cade racer. I mean, you're either building your own rig or nothing. So, Your Average Gamer says, I think with this AtGames Racer, that killed the idea of II Arcade even coming out with that idea. Maybe. I really have to talk to Zhang. Jason M says, Zhang said he's not a fan of doing a dedicated driving cab. I really don't think it was on the horizon. I think this was just speculation for the sense of speculation, and like people thinking about all the cool racing games that are already on the II Arcade and saying, this is something that makes sense. But I don't think it really made sense as a business strategy for Zhang. Bobby Brown says, I think Daytona is 2 years out. It's possible, man. It's totally possible. But, so that's the AtGames Racer. I think that there's a possibility, if you look at the stat sheet, forget about the video they showed of the cab and think about what it could be. There's a real possibility here. Third Floor Arcade, I am not getting Big Blue just yet. I am currently out of space. I have one more cab than I have room for, and I've been currently trying to sell my Marvel Superheroes cabinet, and I put it up for 500 Canadian because it retailed originally for $529, so with tax it sold for I came to like $600. You can't buy it anymore, so I figured I'd try to give it a go, $500. And the reason I put it up $500 is because no one pays asking price. Like, it's a fluke if someone pays asking price. People are going to try to fight with you to the death. So I put it up 500, expecting to get 400, and I got 2 offers. That's it. I had one person offer to trade me a burger time for it, and then I had another person, hey Ray Lanza, I do check the YouTube comments. I'm watching them right now, and they are on the screen, brother. I don't use StreamYards, so I don't put them up on screen. Big Blue Michael, I'll come back to it. So I'm trying to sell my Marvel Superheroes. The one guy offered to trade me for a burger time, which of course I already had. And then the next offer was a guy tried to trade me a jukebox that was broken. And I wrote him back and I was like, I'm not looking for a jukebox, but like, if you want to make me an offer, I'm pretty reasonable on the cabinet. And he's like, nah, I'm just having a hard time getting rid of the jukebox. I'm trying anything at this point to try to trade the jukebox. And that's it. I lowered the price to 400, and I had 2 people reach out to me. And these are Canadian prices, remember? So Canadian prices, and also thinking about it, what do you think about it? Like, what better cab to mod than Marvel Superheroes? I mean, with the 6 button configuration, horizontal screen, it's like the perfect modding cab. And even at 400, I've had 2 people inquire about it, but they never get back to me. They just ask, is this available? I say yes. I never hear from them again. So I am having a nightmare time trying to sell my Marvel Superheroes, and I literally am 1 cab over my limit already, and I can't buy anything else until I at least get that one sold, which would help fund whatever new purchase I want to make. How to Bachelor, thank you so much for joining the Michael B. OnlyFans, man. OnlyFlans. I might change that name. I don't know if that joke has run its course. I know the Super Game Room dudes are tired of it, but I still love it. It's because I will run a joke right into the ground. So thank you very much, How to Bachelor. I appreciate it, brother. Without force feedback on the wheel, will be a no-go for me. Needs a shifter, 6-speed, and a clutch. Well, I mean, it's super, super early in development, so yeah. Zero Hero, Facebook Marketplace, that's where I've been trying to sell it, my man. I have it in every buy and trade group, every retro gaming and gaming group here, and I can't get rid of Marvel Superheroes, so I don't know what to do. And don't you have one on order? Yes, I have Simpsons on the way, thanks to the generosity of P-Dubs and you guys in the community. So that's coming, and I'm going to have to part with NBA Jam, I think, to fit that one in, and I'm probably going to have to sell cabs I like at this point to fit stuff in, because I want to get X-Men for my daughter too. So there's a very good chance I'm probably going to end up losing Golden Tee, which I just bought, but like it's not getting the play in the arcade that I hoped it would. I really like it, but the kids don't like it. So yeah, I'm at that point. And the other thing too is I know Golden Tee will sell. How about the only faint the Canadian account? Reach out to 19K Fox. He needs one. I don't think 19K Fox is close enough to me to make it work, but I'll definitely talk to him. Hey, Ty Fisher, thank you so much for joining the channel, man. I really appreciate it. My iArcade has some sound cracking issues that iArcade says is a software issue. I don't want to turn it on. I'm afraid I'll blow the speakers. Yikes. Sound cracking issue. I don't know what you can do about that. So you talk to the customer service. Papa Brad's Gaming. I hate selling arcade stuff. I hate selling anything. I hate it. Sam Newsman part with NBA Jam. No, it's not the shoes. And I really enjoy NBA Jam. It's just, again, it comes down to it when you don't have enough space. You really start looking at what you play the most. And NBA Jam was really fun when I first got it, but I'm not playing it. So I don't know what to do. I think the AtGames 4-player deck paired with trackball will be my new Golden Tee setup. Listen, I would hold on to that Golden Tee because it's one of the best cabinets they made. It's just, I know it will sell, and I need more space. Don Chafee, 19K Fox lives down the road from me. Well, we got to talk, brother, because maybe there's some way we can get it together. So let's move off now the AtGames Racer. I mean, the thing I will say about it is I wish if they were going to show it, even in the state it was, because it wasn't even a prototype. Like, that's essentially a proof of concept. And there's an opportunity, if you go by their stat sheet, what they can do with it, including their new board. And, you know, you can kind of trust AtGames on a lot of capacity. Like, if you play their stuff, their buttons are good, their hardware is good, it works. So, you know, I've got faith that they'll make this work and it'll be really good. By the time it comes out, it's going to be a different machine and it's going to have good hardware. But I wish that if they were going to use that proof of concept, that video, that image, which I think they want to show everybody, make everybody excited, I wish they had just taken the time to maybe cover up some of the gaudy art on it and make it look a little bit more first party before they showed it off. Because unfortunately, what happens now is first impressions are so dangerous, and some people are going to see this and it's going to sour them on it and never give them a chance. So it's going to be tough. Arcade1Up needs to do a new Golden Tee with Wi-Fi soon. Yeah, I think a lot of people would be interested in that. I know they just did a restock in a lot of different places that Arcade1Up Golden Tee has come back out. And what I've been told is once this shipment is done, they're never going to make any more of the original. So I don't know if there's going to be any more. I just know that this is the last chance at the original Golden Tee. Take apart the marble cab and store it if you get a bigger space to put it back out. Yeah, but I also have to be able to afford any new cab I'm getting. So I was really hoping the marble cab would help do that too, brother. It wasn't just a space issue. Proof of concept drawing would have been better. Hey, Dan Z, what's happening, brother? Facilitator A6, I agree the ALU and ALP are great, so I know they will improve it, but that was certainly not a prototype. P-Dubs, what's happening, my brother? We talk about AtGames, Aladdin's, Alibaba, Magic Carpet Ride, 4-wheel drive, ABS, OnStar included racer yet. Yeah, that's what we've kind of been talking about for the last half hour. And P-Dubs, if you're catching up, like I said, it's certainly a product you can buy on Alibaba right now. But if you go into the ad, you can see you can reach out to the company. And I'm guessing that's what AtGames is doing. They're working with the company, and they're going to take that as a concept and improve upon it working with them. So I think that in a year's time, it might be 2, when this finally comes out, you're going to get a much better product. But I think some people will be soured by the initial image and what happened. So we'll see. But a multicade racer, there's a definite opportunity for it. And I hope it's done right. Hope it's comfortable. It's got a seat, and it is able to give people the hope and the feeling of the original arcade experience. Hey, Zen Membreno, what's happening, brother? Anyways, let's talk about Ridge Racer now. So I made a leak video on Ridge Racer. That's my new kitten. I made a leak video on Ridge Racer. A lot of people made a leak video on Ridge Racer. P-Dubs never made a leak video on Ridge Racer, but we were talking about it. And P-Dubs kept messaging me and trying to distract me because he was like, I'm just trying to stop you from getting your video out before me. But he never even did one. That's not a bad thing at all, P-Dubs. 100% what I said too. No, Frogger is not on my chopping block. Frogger's got a lot of room left in my arcade yet. I worried about that. When I bought Frogger and Golden Tee, I was like, am I making a mistake? Because it's not just the money I spent at the time. Luckily, I got them on like a clearance price. But it was also the space I was taking up. But Frogger has not disappointed at all. Like, there's lots of things I don't like about it. But man, oh man, do I enjoy it. And I enjoy all the games too. Like, I love Time Pilot. I love Frogger. It's amazing how much I turned around on that cabinet. Hey, Mango Slice, what's happening, brother? So, Ridge Racer, we're all talking about what we think the other games are going to be on it. I think we can all agree stand-up's definitely the way to go with the Arcade1Up Racers. Some people will love the sit-down, and that's fine. But the beauty of the stand-up is you can still sit down. It's easier for you to do some kind of mod to put a seat with the stand-up version at a good height than it is for you to try to bring it up. Digipunk, what's happening, brother? So, like me personally, I just got stand-up Outrun, and I'm going to be doing a review relatively soon, and I play it sitting down. But you want to know how I play it sitting down? On a bar stool. You can comfortably, and I got little legs too, guys. Zen Membreno, thank you so much. Did you have many intros, outros? Several. Thank you for the super chat. You didn't have to do that. Also, guys, again, I'm asking people, instead of giving me super chats, please consider going to Glenn's Retro Show's GoFundMe right now for his dog Blue. You know, he needs all the help he can get. Instead of giving me super chats, I'd much rather see the money go towards that cause and helping Glenn. Hope future arcade ones up are so many dropping at once. I know, right? Like, that's the crazy thing. We went from the year that Star Wars came out, what we get, like 4 cabs the whole year, to this one we got, what, like 17? It's crazy, man. How to Bachelor says, I poop sitting down. I had the sit down Outrun. I'm telling you, it's a good experience sitting down, but it is small and it's awkward. Not everybody will love it. What's happening in Mortal Arcade? But I like the stand up a lot better. It looks better in my arcade next to my other Arcade1Ups, in my opinion. And I do put the bar stool in front of it, even with my little legs. I can reach my leg down from the bar stool and drive it comfortably. So that's an option. The other option is I can just get a really good racing seat and put it in front of that cabinet and play it the exact same way. So I'm happy that, from what I understand, they're going with the stand-up version for this cabinet. Now, we're assuming that because that's what we saw in the leak. Don Chafee was here earlier. I don't know if Don is still with us, but CS Briette, AtGames played the Super Game Room dudes like a fiddle. I don't know what to tell you, man. They just gave us a video. Like, I don't think they played us at all. They just threw a video up there. Tron is the last bastion and last hurrah for me from Arcade1Up. I get that, man. A lot of people are running out of room, and that is just a piece of art. So, totally agree on that. So, going to Ridge Racer, we've got Ridge Racer coming out. It's stand-up, which I really like. It looks like it has the same pedals, same steering wheel that we saw from Outrun, except I think there was somewhere in the ad, I'm not 100% sure, but I heard something about Super Game Room dudes of the CNN of fake arcade news. Okay. All right. Anyways, you know, I read somewhere about it possibly having a some force feedback on the wheel. I hope that's true. I will tell you, if it's similar to Outrun, I like the Outrun wheel the way it is, but some people say you got to have force feedback with the driver. I know there's going to be force feedback in the guns with Terminator 2, so we'll see. Maybe that's where I'm getting the idea of force feedback on the Ridge Racer cabinet. But it looks like it's got the exact same pedals, so for those people that think the pedals are flimsy, well, it looks like we're getting the same ones. Hopefully we're wrong, and this is just a render, and hopefully they've improved the pedals a little bit. But everything else I'm pretty happy with. I even like the cabinet design. The cabinet design is very similar to the original. I like the new marquee that's going to be up above the cab. I think this is going to be a really good-looking cab. Questions on the game lineup. Like I mentioned earlier when we talked about a little bit, Ridge Racer, from what I understand, I'm not that familiar with it, but Ridge Racer is not an easy game to emulate through MAME. And if you look at the chips that Arcade1Up use in their cabinet, usually they're about as powerful as like a RetroPie 3B Plus. This is not my area, man. Not my area. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if that is true about the quality, I don't think Ridge Racer can run on a RetroPie 3B Plus. I might be wrong. So you guys in the chat, if you know more about this than me, you can tell me about it. Kongs says, I doubt it'll have force feedback. Kongs, I think you're probably right on this. How to Bachelor, I played Ridge Racer on Vita or PSP recently. Is Ridge Racer, one of the Ridge Racers is on that PlayStation Classic device, right? Ty Fisher, Bobby Brown says, Ridge Racer is okay, wouldn't have been my choice. I'm not familiar with the series at all. Like, this one for me is really cool, but I don't have the nostalgia for it that I'm sure some other people will. PS1 version can run, but of course you're not going to put PS1 version on an arcade cabinet nostalgia, right? An original Xbox can run the arcade version of Ridge Racer, How to Bachelor? Okay, MAME has run Ridge Racer 1 and 2 and Wave Racer just fine for a long time. Awesome. That's good news, Solar Suite. Really good news. Vic Vicious, I will message you, brother. You don't have to do that, but I'll message you all the same if it makes sense. Like, you gotta understand, I live in the, like, honestly, the worst part in the world. Like, the shipping would be crazy, but, like, I'll talk to you about it anyways, definitely. Yes, on the Classic, I believe, early title. Still waiting for my Big Blue from Best Buy. I'm so jealous of you guys. I watched Off's Arcade. P-Dub sent me that review. It was the first time I watched his stuff. He was pretty good. Then I watched Bad Dad's Gaming's review. I didn't comment. I got to go back and do that. I watch YouTube videos on my TV. Sometimes you don't really have an option to. Sometimes you don't have an option to comment on your TV, obviously. So I got to go back and leave a comment. And today I watched Gem Mint Collectibles review. Gem Mint has been doing this for a long time. He picks up like all the fighting cabs, and anyways, wicked FOMO. I mean, that cab looks great. It's one of those ones you see in person, you're like, yeah, awesome. Rave Racer's the third Ridge Racer. Thank you, Solar Suite. Again, I'm not familiar with that series at all. Ernie Rodriguez, hi MB, just want to say I still have my Frogger cab. It's a sweet cab. It really is. Awesome. They obviously have a new chip coming. Killer Instinct would have issues on a RetroPie 3 series. I think so too, Robin, and you might be right. I wonder, like, I know that they upgraded things with Outrun and with Buck Hunter because they have that new super fan there, so yeah, I don't know. If the Laserdisc games are what you want, IR Arcade did an amazing job on them. They totally did. Jim did well. Yep, Gem Mint is dope. Kessel's Arcade, Switch mod. Your Average Gamer says he also has some awesome hot toys on his channel. Yeah, I've I like comic stuff, but like I'm not that much into the comic stuff, so I mainly pick and choose my Gem Mint stuff. Gem Mint, I watch his Arcade1Up stuff. I watch everybody's Arcade1Up stuff because I'm addicted on it. Like, you want to ask me why I do news videos? Because I'm addicted to this stuff. I watch everybody else's stuff, man. I'm really interested in this. I kind of joked around. I was on the Retro Buzz on Friday, and like they talk about, are you an influencer? Are you a YouTuber, content creator? And I made the joke. I'm a retired YouTuber, man. Like I was doing this like 9 years ago, and I put out a lot of videos, tried really hard to do a lot of stuff, and this past year I've just been having fun, getting to know you guys in this community, playing arcade games, and just having a blast, and it's been awesome. And I will tell you, I'm not doing this stuff about the arcade stuff to try to grow my channel, because live streaming kills your channel. A lot of my original fan base, like, they're not interested in the arcades. Like, that's not something that's turned them on. So, you know what? I'm just doing this for fun, guys. I'm a retired YouTuber, living my life, having fun, making friends, and talking about this silly hobby that we all have of spending way too much money and putting arcades in our house, and it's awesome. Thank you, Lewis, very much. I appreciate that, brother. Don, yes. So you saw me back when I was doing my NES Complete Collection Chronicles. Well, Papa Brad's Gaming, John D commented afterwards on Kong's Facebook post that it was a fake John D, so I don't think it was the real one. Yeah, II Arcade, Dragon's Lair, dope. Absolutely dope. Anyways, back to the Ridge Racer cabinet. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for Ridge Racer? I know one of the things that really interests me is the games list possibility, where it is Bandai Namco. I think it's going to have pole position on it. My friend WKRP in Cincinnati, I don't know if he's still here watching the show or in the chat, but he mentioned, if you're going to put pole position on it, why didn't you just skin it with pole position? The problem with the arcade is, back in the day, like Midway sometimes was on the banner for Pac-Man, and he was joking. It was definitely him. But anyways, so when arcade cabinets came out, one company might have made the game, but another company published it. A very good example of that is with Frogger. Frogger was developed by Konami, but it was actually put in the arcades by Sega, I think. So I've always questioned what happened with the art. And the art, I think with Frogger, what happened is Konami don't like the art and don't want to pay Sega for it, because I think it might be Sega's art. Then with pole position, I'm wondering, it's a Bandai Namco game. It's a Bandai Namco license, and Atari released it. So I don't know if Bandai Namco owned the rights to the actual cabinet design, and then how does that work if Arcade1Up goes to Bandai Namco and say, we want to do a pole position cabinet? Do they then have to license the art from Sega? I don't know how all this stuff works, it's crazy. So Double Dragon was Technos, Taito distributed, 100%. That's exactly the way the stuff works. So it's weird. So I think the reason why we're probably not getting a pole position branded cabinet, if pole position is going to be on this, is exactly that reason. Papa Brad says pole position is a short game, but man, like those arcade hardcores, like that is the game, the racing game they want in their home arcades. Like everybody goes nuts for pole position. If you watch John's Arcade as much as I do, all these guys, it's all about pole position. Hey, J Trav APD, and I'm sorry if I said that wrong, brother. Next racing cab I buy is the one that delivers polygon races. You know what? I had a strange suspicion that it was going to be another Sega racer. I thought for some reason it was going to be something like Virtual Racer. WKRP in Cincinnati, you're still here. Yep, Atari was front and middle on the bezel. Yeah, 100%. Imagine him, he said pole. So I think, like, I don't know. I'd love to pick John D's brain sometime because it's so complicated doing the licensing thing. Like, I talked to him a little bit about WrestleFest because I know wrestling a little bit and how the contracts and stuff work. So I made a comment about how hard it would be to get WrestleFest, and he said, "Yeah, you're right on the money. That's exactly what the issue is." So I do wonder about that with the art. Like with Frogger, I wondered 100% because Arcade1Up is so committed to giving you that original arcade art. Might not have had the cabinet shape originally, but they wanted to get the art out there. And Frogger looks nothing like the original arcade release. And even if you go and watch the movie Pixels, Frogger looks nothing like the original arcade in Pixels either. Everything else is spot on. But Frogger has this weird cabinet design, and it has that weird new art that they're trying to put on Frogger. Even all the weird handhelds and stuff all has the new Frogger branding. And I don't know why Konami do that, to spite themselves, or they don't own the art and they just don't want to pay for it. So it's weird. It's not Frogger without the original art, and a lot of people are going to, die on that mountain. The wheel on a real pole position is a free soon wheel, not like what we are used to. I'm not familiar with that. Interesting. Hey, Jersey Style, what's happening? So maybe if that's the case, if it's using a completely different wheel, is it possible that pole position and Ridge Racer can be on the same cabinet then? And then Old Dude Gamer says, keep in mind Atari made the pole position for the 2600. Free spin steering wheel on pole position. Interesting. I really wish they would make a digital speedometer rather than stickers. That's a tough one. That raises up their price point quite a bit. Like, you look at the conversation that they had about Dragon's Lair. And I mean, Dragon's Lair, you need that second screen there to do that DMD that they were having. And I mean, that became such a big issue with the price point that they actually considered that bring your own screen. So a speedometer with another screen. I mean, I'm waiting on my Legends Pinball and my Tesla. Which one are you more excited for? Hey, Darth Penguin, no worries about it. There's a lot more important things than being here. And guys, thank you so much for joining me on a Tuesday night. I apologize. I didn't want to interfere with anybody else's shows, and we also did the AtGames contest show last night, and I didn't want to interfere with that, so I decided that I was just going to do that show, call it a night, and we'd do a special episode on Tuesday. I wasn't going to miss it because this is what I live for. I live for being on these shows and talking to you guys and just talking about the stuff. I love this stuff. So it's great to come on and talk to you. And Kevgret, I didn't see Kevgret here in the chat tonight, but Kevgret always gives me a hard time because I'm always ready to jump on people's shows. It's the same reason. I really like talking to you about this stuff. Mike, are you getting Killer Instinct or T2? I really want T2. Killer Instinct is really cool, but it's not a game that I've had much love for. And I'm trying to be very careful on where I have limited space right now. And by limited space, I'm out of space. Very careful to focus on games, not because they're the shiny and exciting new thing, games that I have a emotional attachment to. Because right now, I talked to you guys about, I got to get rid of stuff and I got to make it work. So I really want X-Men. So I haven't heard you say any interest in the Ridge Racer cab. I am not familiar with Ridge Racer at all. I think the cabinet looks beautiful. I'd have to go back and play Ridge Racer a little bit. It's not my cup of tea, but there's things about it I really like. I really like the fact that it has that live option. So racing against other people, I mean, that's going to be pretty sweet. To be able to message a buddy, message, P-Dubs, message Retro Ralph, message somebody else in the community that has this cab and say, come on, let's do a race. And then it's got the voice chat too, be able to go back and forth with each other and talk about it. That's going to be fun. That's going to be so much fun. But do I like Ridge Racer? I don't know. I have no attachment to Ridge Racer. I've never played Ridge Racer once in the arcade, ever. I played Ridge Racer a little bit on PlayStation, but I don't even remember that. Now, if this was cruising, oh man, do I have a history with cruising? Is this Daytona? Man, I have a history with Daytona. And there was this Kawasaki bike game too that I played a bunch. I never played any Ridge Racer. But if Ridge Racer comes and it has pole position on it too, that changes things. I'm more interested then. Bob. Illinois, we got hit today. We were lucky. Sorry to hear that, Bob. What was it? It was I might have missed some of this in the chat, guys, and I'm really sorry. Bones Jackson, Arcade Barn. Build it. It will fill. Yeah, I've been looking at some people doing that, and man, it looks so sweet. I'm looking at my backyard. I'm like, well, it's not a barn here in Canada, and where I am in Newfoundland, we call it a shed, but I don't know, man. I'd feel pretty bad about it. Bob, what happened, brother? Was it, it wasn't this hurricane that's going through, was it? No, it had to be something else. Cruisin' Blast comes out next week for Switch. Use a Hori wheel. Tornado, we are good. Good, man. Someday when I have more time, I'll tell you about the time I got caught in a tornado. And, like, I'm in Canada. We don't have stuff like that here. I'll tell you right now. Me and my wife went to WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. And we did the whole thing. We went to the Hall of Fame. We went to Fan Access. We went to WrestleMania. And then we went to the Raw on Monday night. As we were leaving the Raw on Monday night, we walk outside, and earlier that day, we went down to the CNN Center and that mall that's there, and my wife saw the Storm Chasers, like, I don't know what it is, like the Batmobile that they have, the Storm Chaser mobile, and she was, like, right excited. We took a picture with it. She loves this stuff. Never once did we ever have some kind of concept that there might be something happening. So anyways, we leave Raw that night. As we're walking up the road, like, the wind picks up, like, crazy suddenly, and like I feel these rocks hit my face. Someone screams, "There's a tornado." I turn and there's a tornado coming up the road. I'm like ready to flip out because I've never seen anything like this in my life. We had to run into a hotel which was right next to the stadium, and then we had to hide in the, like, basically the parkade for this shelter and hope for the best. And anyways, we waited for like 3 hours till it was all over, and we finally got a cab back to the hotel. We were going to walk, but we were terrified. So we got a cab back to the hotel, and then I'm staying in this crazy hotel where we were on like the 40th floor, and there's a sign down in the bottom that talks about how the hotel, which is all glass, by the way, all glass on the outside, how they had a problem a couple years ago because a tornado hit the top of the hotel and blew out all the windows. So I didn't really sleep that much that night. How to Bachelor, those with superior skills play Killer Instinct. I have mediocre skills. So maybe it's not for me. Oh, Jollibee not going to pull off KI combos with those weak Arcade1Up controls. There's a reason they got Justin Wong there, man. I think that he's really putting these cabs through the ringer to make sure that the controls they have are usable to do all this stuff. And if he can do it, it passes the sniff test. Like everybody saw, he had that Arcade1Up Big Blue before anybody else did. So he gave that a runner before anybody else got to, got to try it out. So guys, that's really about it. We've got Ridge Racer coming out. It's an interesting cab, and I'm excited for the people that are excited for it. I'm glad that I got Outrun stand up now because I'm not really familiar with Ridge Racer. The live aspect really excites me, and I'm sure I'll get FOMO when the cab comes out and I don't pick it up. But again, I'm waiting for Cruisin'. I'm waiting for Daytona. Those games that really excite me. Pole Position will pull up my heart if it's on there, but it's not a Pole Position branded cab, so I don't know. I'm excited for it, and I think it's going to be a pretty good seller for Arcade1Up. Back to the AtGames racing cab. bad start, but I have nothing but hope for where this cab's going to be. And I think when the final product comes out, the fact that this is going to come out, it's going to be on their ecosystem, they're going to bring in some dedicated games to play with it, and then the fact that it'll be a front end, just like my pinball table is, to hook a PC up to, so I can have an awesome racing experience from my PC, might just be a very, very cool experience in the future. The thing I'm concerned about, and I forgot to mention earlier, RB Wings, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. MB and P-Dubs, you guys rule. You won me an ALP by convincing me to get the arcade control before I had the table. Hey, congratulations, RB Wings. I love seeing people win stuff. That's awesome, brother. Oh, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, and congratulations. The only thing I'm really worried about is all this stuff. The magic of Arcade1Up is the fact that they're designed so they can go into a store. Their boxes, the way they're flat packed, is so they can get in. Looking at that AtGames cab, the racing cab, I'm wondering how they can put this in a box into where it can be sensibly shipped. So that's going to be the real trying thing. I'm wondering about that one. Can they make this thing more compact? Even like the Legends Pinball, where it had to come in 2 boxes maybe to get it to be able to fit into retail and get it sensibly shipped to people. So that'll be interesting. I don't want to miss this comment. Steve V's Man Cave Arcade. My good buddy Steve Victoria. I think I'm going to sell my Outrun for Ridge Racer. Yes, Steve, you have the sit-down Outrun, too. I mean, Outrun is a classic game. A lot of people don't like it because of its difficulty. That's what gets me coming back, man. I love Turbo Outrun, too, but it's the original Outrun, and I'm terrible at it, but, man, I keep trying. T2 was higher on my purchase list, but Ridge Racer Cab gives me lots of hope they will do Daytona USA right. Immortal Arcade says, Michael, you can say you're a retired YouTuber, but you know pro wrestling enough to know you never really retired. No, you don't. I'm retired in the sense of I'm retired from trying to be something or trying to get somewhere or gain an advantage because of what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to put myself over here, but like I got friends that like I've been friends with since I started doing YouTube, and they're like, hey, good that you found this thing to kind of latch on to with to revitalize your channel. And I'm like, man, I'm getting less views now than I did when I was doing my old stuff. This has hardly revitalized my channel. 3 or 4 boxes. I hope not, man. That'll be very, 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 very hard to get out. I'm going to play My Little Pony pinball on my phone. Well, that sounds like a time. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me here tonight for this special Tuesday edition of Chill and Chat with Michael B. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, talking about this foolishness, and watching me ramble on about these arcades for so long. I've really had a good time talking to you. I hope something came out of it. Mike Hockhurts, Michael B is retired, but always available for running. That's 100% true. Don Chafee says, bring back the NES games. The NES games aren't gone. It's just, I'm going to be honest with you, Don. I there's stuff I want to do. Like, I've been doing a playthrough of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I could always make more videos. I just got to be interested. Talk to me about something I'm interested in, and I'll do it again. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for hanging with me again tonight. Everybody, have a wonderful rest of your week. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time. So guys, you'll never know when I'll pop back on, but I apologize. I should have put this up earlier. It's going to be in the description of the video afterwards, but here's the GoFundMe for Glenn Planamento. Currently right now, they have got up to $10,871 of their $12,000 goal. So they're almost there, guys. Anything you could do to help would just be fantastic. And Glenn is like the nicest dude in the entire world, so it would mean a lot to me. Guys, go support Glenn. And sorry I didn't have it earlier. I'm a mess, Mike. Get your life in order. I should have had this up already. Hope everybody has a wonderful night. I'm really gone this time.